In this video, we're going to be talking about how you can work out less and lose more weight, feel better, and be more fit. This is very counterintuitive, and I picked it up from this book, The Bulletproof Diet. It's a very interesting and controversial book because it brings about a lot of myths that are busted. And I just want to dissect and talk about this thing about working out less and becoming more fit. Now, how is this possible? I think one of the emphasis is on proper dieting, and by dieting it doesn't mean skimping out on foods. In fact, they actually encourage you to eat more fats. So that's another myth. You're just like, what, eat more fats? So this book really perked my attention because all these things were very different from what was normally being said. And personally, I'm not someone who likes a lot of these fad diets, the paleo or anything like that, because I think they're just too extremist and it's not normal. But turns out, upon closer examination, it's actually not as extremist as it may seem. What they're actually saying is that, hey, some fats are bad for you, but some fats are really good for you. And if you eat more of those good fats, you'll actually lose weight. And that was just like, wow, so I can eat more fats. And then the second thing with dieting, it goes back to how you have to, so many people work out so much and they get very stressed. The point of this book is saying that you can actually spend more time just eating the right foods, and that will drastically reduce the amount of time you have to spend at the gym, because a good majority of how your body is shaped and formed is on what you eat. So it was an incredible book. I think, like all books, they are somewhat biased just by the nature of humans. And the author of this book is someone who used to weigh 300 pounds and ended up spending $300,000 on research in terms of figuring out what was going on, because the traditional personal trainers he got wasn't working. So he found out some incredible stuff. There's so much more controversial stuff in this book, but I think there's a bit of a bias here towards eating less and working out less, and it comes from the perspective of the fact that this guy used to go to the gym every single day and work out for like God knows how many hours, and he was burnt out and it wasn't doing anything to his weight. He still weighed 300 pounds. So I think he's really targeting this to the people who work out so much that they're burnt out, that their willpower is drained, that they can't think properly. And he's telling those type of people to work out less. For people who are super lazy and have never gone to the gym, I would say this workout less thing may not work exactly as well. But even then, I think it still could, because what is being said here, and there's a lot of science to back up what's said, is that you should spend less time working out. So rather than 3 hours at a gym, maybe 15 minutes or 30 minutes, and maybe even 5 minutes, and spend more of that time just eating the proper foods. So I found this incredibly useful, and honestly, I think there's a lot of myths out there that can be debunked. Some not in this book, some are. Some that are not would be stuff like, oh, you cannot eat any healthy food that tastes good. I think this is a huge myth that so many people bring up. People go to the grave believing this. And quite recently, I saw the actor who played Luke Skywalker in Star Wars during an interview of the most recent Star Wars movie. His name's Mark Hamill, and he was complaining about this. He's like, oh my goodness, anything healthy tastes horrible, and that's how it was. And I had to train with a nutritionist for this movie, and I can't eat anything that tastes good. And I think that's a huge myth, which is partially true, which is why the stereotype is there, but it is definitely not true if you're creative enough with your food. I guarantee you. So I think check out this book. I'll leave a link in the description because it busts numerous myths, and I'm going to do a lot more videos on this book because there's a ton of myths in here that's going to be busted wide open. So check out that video because it's crazy.